Okay, so let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something really fascinating, how your brain is constantly trying to predict the future, and how that single process actually shapes what you pay attention to from one moment to the next. It's pretty fundamental to how we see everything.
Ever just stop and ask yourself that? That feeling that your mind just won't shut off, that it's always humming with something. It's a super common feeling, but the reason it happens? Well, it might not be what you think.
In fact, the thinking behind this explainer suggests a totally different way of looking at that mental busyness. It has less to do with the amount of stuff you have to think about and way more to do with how your brain is operating. So it all starts with this foundational idea, the predictive brain. Your brain isn't just passively sitting there taking in the world like a camera. Nope, it's an active prediction machine. It's making nonstop guesses about what's coming next, and that expectation literally changes what you notice. This right here is a really crucial distinction. Expectation doesn't change what you look at, the whole scene available to your eyes. It changes what your brain decides is important enough to bring into your conscious awareness, what you actually notice. It's a subtle difference, but it's everything. So how does it pull this off? Well, you can think of your attention as an active filter, not just a passive spotlight. Based on its predictions, your brain is constantly making these little decisions, highlighting some details and letting everything else just fade into the background. And this process actually has a name, guided attention. At its core, it's just an efficiency tool. Your brain has a pretty limited energy budget, and there's no way it can process every single bit of information coming in. So it uses its predictions to guide your attention to what it thinks is most important, saving a ton of energy. Now, most of the time, this system is brilliant. But what happens when the brain's main prediction is a negative one? What happens when it starts to expect a threat or that something is about to go wrong? The whole system shifts gears. When that threat prediction mode kicks in, your attention doesn't just get guided, it narrows, like a lot. It actively starts scanning for any proof that confirms the threat. And suddenly, tiny little signals you'd normally ignore become super obvious, and any little bit of uncertainty feels like a major red flag. And here's the absolute kicker. This problem scanning mode isn't just for when you're actually in danger. It can get triggered in the background even when you are perfectly safe. Your brain just expects a problem, so it goes looking for one no matter what's really going on. Now, this is where things get tricky. Because this scanning process isn't just a one-off event. It creates a really powerful self-feeding loop that can be incredibly hard to break out of. Here's how it works. It starts with an expectation. Your brain predicts a problem. That makes your attention start scanning for evidence. And because it's looking so hard, it'll find something, a small issue, a bit of uncertainty. Finding that problem then reinforces the original expectation. See, I knew something was wrong. And the whole cycle starts over, but even stronger this time. And this brings us full circle, right back to that first question, that feeling of having a busy mind. This self-feeding loop is the engine driving it. We kind of need to redefine what busyness really means here. So here's the main point. It's a huge misconception that a busy mind is caused simply by having a long to-do list or a bunch of problems to solve. I mean, that can be part of it for sure, but it's not the root cause of that relentless internal chatter. The real reason is the activity of the mind itself. It's the constant, repetitive act of scanning. Your attention is being pulled again and again to check and recheck for things that might be wrong. That constant checking is what feels like busyness. And this comparison just sums it up perfectly. A thinking mind is active and engaged, it's solving stuff, creating, learning, but a scanning mind is different. It's in this passive, vigilant state, just checking for danger. What we often call a busy mind is actually a scanning mind that's just caught in that loop. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. If your attention is constantly being filtered through this threat detection lens, constantly scanning for what might go wrong, what good things, what interesting things, what opportunities might it be fading into the background completely unnoticed?